Did someone say 5 and 5? We did. Let's take 5 minutes or so to lock in AP World History at Unit 2, the Networks of Exchange. This is the era when the world gets smaller, trade gets bigger, and the consequences get deadly. Your 5 minutes starts now. Unit 2 is all about connection. Not empires, not kings, not borders, but trade routes. Between 1200 and 1450, Afro-Eurasia became more connected than ever before. Goods moved, ideas moved, people moved, and unfortunately, so did diseases. Let's start with the exchange networks you absolutely have to know. First up, the Silk Roads. These were overland routes stretching across Eurasia, moving luxury goods like silk, porcelain, and spices. Basically all the nice things people can't afford. But more importantly, the Silk Road moved ideas, and caravansaries kept merchants safe along the way. Different people got to talk, interact, and influence each other. Buddhism spread, Islam spread, and gunpowder spread. And eventually, so did the Black Death. Next is the Indian Ocean Trade Network, or the Maritime Silk Road. This one is sea-based and powered by monsoon winds. Predictable winds meant predictable trade. Humans harnessed nature for their own ends. This network moved bulk goods like cotton, textiles, spices, and food. It was dominated by merchants, not empires. There was less conquest, more cooperation as Arab traders spread their faith and language in the region. Third, the trans-Saharan trade. This network connected North Africa and West Africa across the desert. Gold went north, salt went south. Islam spread with trade, and cities like Timbuktu became major centers of learning and wealth. Meanwhile, quick Europe check, and yep, still comparatively poor and much dirtier. But cities like Geneva and Venice were showing promise. Finally, the Americas. There were no horses yet, and no wheeled transport, but that doesn't mean no trade. Goods moved through human labor, roads, and relay systems. Trade was regional but still complex, and it was built around tribute systems, massive road networks, and a strong state control, especially under the Aztecs and the Inca. So who made all of this work? Enter the 3 M's. The Mongols didn't just conquer, they connected. They protected merchants, standardized trade practices, and made travel safer across Eurasia. That stability boosted trade from China to Europe, but it also made it much easier for diseases to spread. Next up, Mansa Musa, ruler of Mali and one of the richest humans to ever live. His pilgrimage to Mecca put West Africa on the global map and proved that Africa was not some dark continent. The lights were burning bright. Finally, Muslim merchants dominated trade across the Silk Roads, the Indian Ocean, and the trans-Saharan routes. They were the glue holding it all together. They moved goods, yes, but more importantly, they moved trust. Shared language, shared religious law, and shared commercial practices made long-distance trade safer and more predictable. Islamic institutions like banking, credit, and contracts lowered risk and accelerated everything. Wherever Muslim merchants went, trade followed, and so did Islam itself. No armies required, just business. This unit is not just about goods. Yes, silk, spices, gold, and salt matter, but so do ideas, religion, technology, and people. Travel writers, or influencers if you will, such as Marco Polo and Ibn Battuta, spread word and interest, but the worst thing that spread was disease. The Black Death traveled along trade routes from East Asia toward Europe. By the mid-1300s, tiny fleas hitched rides on the backs of rats. They arrived in places like Italy and ended up killing up to 1/3 of Europe's population. And that's not a side effect, that's a historical turning point. Maybe the top 3 of all time. So what happened because of all this connectivity? Well, think about your life and the internet. It's the same effect. Economies grew, cities expanded, cultural exchange increased, but with the plague, labor shortages appeared, which gave workers more power. Social hierarchies weakened, states responded by tightening control, and connection created opportunity and chaos. Here's what the College Board really wants from you, young scholar, from this unit. They want comparison, especially Silk Roads versus Indian Ocean trade, overland luxury trade versus maritime bulk trade. How are they the same and how are they different? They want causation. Why did trade expand? Well, technology improved, demand increased, Mongol stability mattered. Finally, continuity and change over time. Trade existed before 1200, but not at this scale and or this level of impact. In every AP history course, the how and the why always beat out the who and the when. Explain why it happened, how it worked, and explain what changed. That's where the points are. The takeaway is simple. Unit 2 is when the world becomes increasingly connected. Trade binds Afro-Eurasia together, Wealth grows, ideas spread, and the consequences, good and bad, reshape history. Connection is power, but connection is also danger. Okay, well, that's it. We're done. That's it. 2 down, 7 to go. If you want to dive deeper into the details from our full courses or practice with questions that look exactly like the real exam, come hang out with us at collegeprep.uworld.com/AP. We've got everything you need to lock in that 5. Catch you in Unit 3.